A very good Monday afternoon to you. It is an awful day here in Manchester. Grey clouds as far as I can see and that very drizzly light rain. Absolutely awful. I'm in awful withdrawal today. Obviously tennis has come to an end. Wimbledon has come to an end. So no tennis to watch today, and already counting the minutes until it starts again next year. Obviously everything happened the way I foresaw it happening. I would have loved on one hand for Roger to get his 8th title, because I know he's very, very hungry to get that one under his belt. It will separate him yet again from all the other tennis greats that he's up there at the top of the game with. But I also knew that Novak is #1 in the world for a reason. Anyway, moving on. What I want to talk about today is buying your new watch by saving for it. Now, what's prompted this is I watched one of Simon Crane's videos this morning, and Simon was basically saying that it was a video about pawnbroker shops. And I referred to pawnbrokers in my local town the other day, and a Rolex Sea Dweller. And Simon was basically saying that what he could perhaps do with a local high-quality jeweller in Edinburgh to him is go in there and put £1,200 down, and then pay £100 a month on credit to buy any particular watch that he fancies in the window. And he was working on that basis, that because he wouldn't feel that £100 leaving his bank account, and if the £100 was in his bank account with all good intentions to save it, his opinion is, of course, that you wouldn't save it, you would actually spend it on other things. And I think to a certain extent, Simon is correct, although in essence this video is kind of disagreeing with that ethos. Simon is correct on the front that my view is that when you are saving for something, and it doesn't matter what that something is. In our case, of course, it's watches. In other people's, it's cars, or some people might want a brand new high-tech mobile phone, or a laptop, or a tablet, or whatever it is, something that is a considered purchase. Now, for most people, they want something now, and they want it as soon as they can get it. So the obvious thing is either get it on your credit card or go and buy it on finance. Either way, you're incurring some form of debt. I'm not the greatest fan of debt where a purchase is concerned, unless of course that debt can work for you. And what I mean by that, let's say for instance, utilising the word debt is incorrect, of course. If you can get a deal on your credit card which is 0% APR, yes, you are putting in a form of debt because it's a credit card, but it is actually, what it actually is deferred payment. You have got it on 0% for the lifetime of the debt, and you pay it off either in 6 months, 12 months, whenever you feel able to, or drip feed it throughout that period. And that's actually quite a good thing. Or if your credit card gives points, for instance, towards other things, then perhaps that is that could be a good thing as well. My whole ethos in life is, and I guess it because I come from a working class family, I was always brought up to believe that if you didn't have the money, you couldn't have it. And it was simple as that. If the money's not in your pocket or your bank, then I'm afraid whatever it is that you're after, it's actually staying in the shop. And I kind of work on the ethos. Now, my opinion is regarding anything that you want to buy, it's mental strength. That's what it is. And this is where kind of I disagree with what Simon was saying, was that if you don't put a deposit on something and pay it off, £100 a month, let's say, for instance, I don't necessarily agree that you would spend it on other things. I kind of have a saying which resonates in the back of my mind all the time, which kind of shouts louder when I hear about people who are in great financial difficulty. And that saying is, money management is not a dark art. Money management is a skill, like any other skill, that can be acquired. And as long as you have a little bit of sense and a little bit of intelligence, your management skill can outweigh your income. Which, what I mean by that is, you can appear to be more well off than you actually are, because you'll manage your money that little bit better. So you can always have a full fridge and a full cupboard, and your kids can always have decent shoes on the feet, and so on and so forth, because perhaps you go shopping at one of the cheaper shops, like, you know, here in the UK we have Aldi and Lidl and that kind of thing, rather than going to shop at Waitrose or Sainsbury's, you know. So you can save quite a lot of money if your, say, weekly shop for your family is £100, and you can go to Aldi or Lidl and get it for £60, then of course you're £40 to the good. Yes, all right, you might not be able to get the brands that you know, but you'll always get, you know, surely a Weetabix is Weetabix is Weetabix, as it were, or cornflakes are cornflakes, you know. So money management, to a certain extent, if the money's in your bank, will you spend it elsewhere? Not necessarily. As you know, I'm saving like Billy-O at the moment to treat myself for my 55th birthday in September, or just after. I'm not on a massive income, but I have recently saved successfully for my Seamaster 300, as you know. I've recently paid that off the credit card that I put it on, because I've now got the points off the one particular credit card, and then transferred it to a 0% deal on another credit card. But I got a little bit fed up of seeing the £900 on the bill coming through, so I decided to clear it completely. So I'm now a nil balance on that credit card. But so I'm in the same state as I would have been had I bought it in cash. But the beauty of it is that I got points back from the credit card that has a point scheme on it. Plus, I had the watch for 2 or 3 months before I actually paid the money. So it's a win-win-win situation. I win because I get the watch, I won because I got the points, and I won because I got interest-free credit for 3 months. So as far as I'm concerned, what you should do where your watches are concerned is learn the skill of money management. Ensure that how you shop for you and your family, you get the best possible deal. Save money where you can. That money can go towards other things that your family may want or need, like holidays or whatever. And as far as you're concerned, if you are the main breadwinner in that family, you're not shelling out as much, so therefore you will have more disposable income to put to one side that you can then label in for your watch fund. One possible way could be that you have, in old-fashioned terms, a piggy bank. A piggy bank that you put money into, physically put money into, and the only way you can get it out is to smash it. You know, it doesn't have a screw-off bottom or whatever. You actually have to put a hammer through it. Now, you know, that then is an effort you will have to make to spend that money, plus the fact, hopefully if you ever turn up with some heavy object to smash that piggy bank, that will make you have second thoughts about dipping into that fund. So, you know, my view is that if you decide that you can be structured enough in your head to have a hypothetical piggy bank within your bank account, as it were, and say, right, this £100 a month is being saved for my watch. Or, even better still, see if your bank offers an interest-bearing account where every month you put your £100 in there, and yes, okay, on a monthly basis you won't get a lot on your £100, but at least you'll get something. So I believe that all that saving for a watch or any other major purchase you need is a little bit of common sense, a little bit of intelligence, and a little bit of patience, because we all know that when we get that little nagging voice in our ears saying, God, it's time for a watch, it really is time for a watch. Do you not think it's a good time to buy a watch? You just need to pull yourself back from that until you have the amount of money saved. I think for my Seamaster 300, I think it took me about 8 or 9 weeks to save up the money, possibly 10 weeks. I didn't compromise on anything. I have a safe here at home. What I did when I'd set aside the £100 that I used to save on a regular basis, I would take it out of the bank, I put it in a sealable bag, and the sealable bag is in the safe. And I added to that on the periodic times where I saved the £100. And it's amazing that the push that it gave me, and I assume would give other people, as you see that pile growing, as it were, gaining thickness. I remember showing one of my videos, I actually had the cash when I actually bought, as I just said, the watch on the credit card, but I actually had the cash. I could have paid for it there and then. And it's a lovely feeling to have that pile getting thicker and thicker and thicker. That pushes you along towards that finish line of having the money there. So having the £100 in your bank, yes, potentially you could be that could be assigned to other things, as could that holding the money that you're saving every month in your house. Of course it could, but it is a little bit about having mental strength, and I do believe that making savings elsewhere in your life can make the purchase of a watch more easily and more quickly available to you and I. It's not for everybody. I appreciate it's not for everybody, because some people will want a watch and they will want it now. And if you can't wait, that's fine. If you as a buyer want to pay interest on a watch and make an AD a little bit richer, or a grade dealer a little bit richer by paying some form of interest, then by all means go ahead and do it. But for me, it is better for me to feel that I have the control, that I am putting that money aside for a goal I have in mind. And who knows, whilst you're saving for the watch that you've got in mind, maybe that particular brand will bring out a new version of that watch, but you still like the old version of that watch, so therefore that watch may drop in price because they're trying to clear old stock. Maybe that will happen. Or maybe whilst you're out and about and you're still saving, you'll see something else that you actually had never considered before, that it could be something that could take the place of the watch that you're saving for. Whereas if you'd shelled out all of a sudden, and then a fortnight later, once you got your new acquisition on your wrist, you saw this different watch, you thought, oh God, that's lovely. And never thought about getting one of those before. Now you've blown your fund, and that's basically it. So saving for a watch, leaving the money in your bank account, would we sell it? Would we spend it on something else? Possibly. Anything's possible. Money management skills is something some people have, and some people just don't have. Hence why you see lots and lots of people in debt. Spending priorities, for instance. Simon again was talking about the priority some people give to spending money on cigarettes. I don't get that, because they are literally seeing money go up in smoke. You may as well put £10 notes on your fire to keep yourself warm in the winter. But the skills that it needs to do it are available to us all. There are enough instructional videos out there how to budget, and all you need to learn is a little bit of patience. So, saving for a watch, is it advisable? In my view, absolutely yes. Not only are you seeing that fund grow, and you are being made to feel great because you're getting closer and closer and closer to that aim, and therefore once you acquire that watch, you will love it even more because you've had to wait for it. During that time, if the manufacturer brings out a new model and trying to shift old stock, you may get the watch you desire that little bit cheaper. And plus, of course, as we've just said, in that time that you're saving, you may see a different brand that you'd never even considered before. So, and that might be something that you, oh, you know, I'll go for that. It's beautiful. It ticks more of the boxes that I wanted from the watch I was considering. So maybe that's an option. Personally, if I was saving for a watch, I wouldn't consider spending the £100 a month. I would label it in my head that's there, that's for that. The rest of the stuff is for everything else. But maybe I'm different. Anyway, let me know. Let me know what your view is about whether you should save or whether you should go down the credit route. Whatever credit that is, credit through a store, or whether you want to bang it on a credit card solely to have the benefit of having it now and maybe not in 6 months' time. Let me know what you think about money management, whether that's a skill that I'm just talking out the top of my head about. It seems to me that it's something that is a skill that's been lost since the days when I was a kid, where, you know, credit was hard to come by. You know, HP, as we used to call it then, hire purchase. To get hire purchase was very, very difficult. You know, you used to get interrogated by people and investigated by your bank manager, and you needed somebody who would guarantee the loan if you defaulted on it and that kind of thing. So let me know whether you come from my school of thought, or whether, you know, do you believe that credit is there to be used? That's the whole idea, that you don't have to wait. Or whether you feel that the waiting makes the experience of the acquisition of the piece more delightful. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you very, very much for all your replies to my subscriber engagement video thing that I did the other day. Great to hear from you all. Keith, thank you very much for your comment. I have got back to you. I think that's it for this one. If this is your first time here and you're thinking, oh, this is quite interesting, then have a look at my old stuff, and I'm sure you'll find a variation of bits and pieces in there that might wet your whistle, or maybe not, I don't know. But if you do like what you're seeing, feel free to subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Obviously, I will no doubt be getting 1 or 2 thumbs down, as always. Why you would do that, I have no idea, but at least have the balls to put a comment and tell me why. Other than that, any comments, queries, questions, suggestions, down below as always. Thanks a lot for watching. I shall speak to you again, possibly later on, not too sure. Busy day today. Off to see the doctor later. Speak to you later. Bye bye.